Hello, folks. This is Sue Bell from NetworkEmpire.com here with Jimmy Kelly and Russell Wright, and we're doing a set of videos about DAS. In this video, Jimmy's going to explain the nitty-gritties about DAS. He's going to get in there and show you how to set the properties up and set the links up and everything that you ever wanted to know. Take it away, Jimmy.
All right, thanks, Sue. So we've gotten kind of far in the videos here. We've kind of explained the importance of it. We've broken down how we identify some keywords, and now it's time to start actually building properties. So just a real quick, I've tried to change the color coding on these arrows so you can kind of distinguish what's going on when. So these purple arrows represent what you probably already built from watching the videos that were done by Russ and Sue regarding the one feed. These should have been coming from, you possibly set these up through Hootsuite by now, if you've gotten through that video and done your implementation. And the yellow arrows are arrows I just want you to be aware of for your anchor text, because you just need to know, like in this instance, we have this page will be optimized for green smoke starter kits. And this is already also optimized for green smoke starter kits. So when we use an anchor, I try not to start out with the exact match anchor right off the bat, just as what you've heard Greg teach over the years. It's just, you typically don't want to go in for the kill right off the bat. So you just want to make sure that these are long tails, and be aware that even though this is a highly relatable LSI, you want to be cautious with the anchor text still going in, because we don't want to over anchor these pages. And then down here in the blue, these blue arrows represent, I'll try my best to explain this. So if I was doing this for a local client, I stated before that there's going to be 3 clusters of about these many properties. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 7. So there's 7 properties in this cluster. But we need 3 of them. So the first month when I take on a client, I only start with these batch right here. So we would have the 2 that we made from the one feed already, and using Hootsuite, and then from there we just have to make 3 additional properties. And the examples I gave here, we have purevolume.com, blogger.com, and weebly.com. And again, I want you guys to remember, you're not limited to just what I'm writing on this page. In fact, I encourage you to go out and find high DA properties that you can use. So if everybody went out and did the exact same clusters, it'd be fine, but you don't want to start creating a linking pattern going back to like every page of your site. It's going to penalize it. So, make sure you're going out to moz.com/top500 and going out and finding other properties that you can swap out as you create these stacks. So in your second cluster, all these will be different. In the third cluster, all these will be different. But essentially, you'll be able to find other high DA properties that function the same as we do with this initial example. And we leave that up to you, just because if we give you footprints, it's not going to help everyone in the long run. So doing that in that stage, only these ones will be built the first month. So you have these from your Hootsuite account, and we're only going to build these 3 in the first month. Now, once we build it out in the first month for the client, typically what I do is the second month is when I add in what we're seeing here in the blue arrows. So we're going to build a second page Weebly, or include another high DA. In this example, it's Tumblr. And then the Tumblr is going to link out to another citation we haven't linked to yet, and then also up to one of the other ones that we've already linked to. So you just want to be aware as you're putting these together that this is what you need to do. So if you didn't start with this, I highly recommend that you do. You go back and follow the steps to get it set up, because this is, again, automatic domain authority stacking going on. But the second part, if you haven't done so already, I recommend going and getting citations. You can find affordable options to do this. Here's an example of one that I found on Fiverr. And you could just do this by doing a search on Fiverr. And you could just come in here and find the citation type links. And these are ones, I had pulled that one up as an example because it offers a lot of the ones that are typical, like Yelp's a good one, City Search, I see a lot, Foursquare is a critical one, Facebook is a critical one. These types of links also help you rank when you're trying to rank for the map packs. So you want to make sure that you're getting these in. I also believe these links hold a little more authority other than regular 2.0 links because instead of just being an article, this is also helping Google really understand your location because you have to provide an address and a phone number with it. Of course, you might be limited on these types of links if you don't actually have a physical location. But even on affiliate sites, for me myself, I still just try to use some kind of address that I can get a hold of to at least get my links up on these types of sites. And I will leave the instructions on that to you. So I don't teach anything that's too bad at this point in time. So now that we know that we'd already have these in place, after your Fiverr gig, you'd probably end up with a Yelp or City Pages, or this can be any kind of citation. And all these can be citations. Again, it doesn't really matter necessarily what these are as long as you have high DA. But for rapid building, what I like to do is just go buy citations, incorporate your main social properties. And then you really only have to start in the first month building these 3. Now, there's still 2 other clusters, so in total, the first month you'd build 9 properties, which is not bad. We have to start out with this second column here for when we're building our links. So in this example, we put up a blogger, and we do this one first because we need to know what this URL is when we build out this page. We can't link to nothing when we put up this content. So we're going to go set up a blogger account here real quick, and I'll just try to pull it up. Had it pre-ready a little bit. And when you're on Blogger, you just hit new blog, your title. Let's see what we're looking at. So this is the part where you got to take a look at your keywords. Remember, we got to pick out good keywords. So we got green smoke reviews. So real quick, I'm just because we didn't write those keywords down, so it's going to be just a quick overview. And we're going to go back into the queue, and we want to jump over to the review section. And we want to pull out some of these keywords. So again, we did this before, but you have to do this on each part of your silo because you want the strongest LSIs to come in. I'm going to go into my filter. I'm going to scroll down to Jimmy's supporting keywords, apply filter. And now we got some stuff we can look at. And what I'm looking for, keywords, typically they're still related to the silo. Even though these are important, I still want to pull in something that's related to reviews in some way. And I'm not seeing enough come in, so we might need to loosen the filter a little bit, and I might just go back to highly relevant and see if we can get a wider option going in here. So that helped a little bit. We have green smoke reviews, which is what our main keyword is. Let's see if there's anything else. Oh, this is a good one. I like this one right here, green smoke ratings. That's not too bad. So we'd probably add that one to the list. So on this one again, I would still put up, bear with me here. So for this silo landing page, it was SueBell.me. Pull this up a little bit more so you can see what I'm doing. And the target URL was green smoke again, because remember, this is all on the same silo. And reviews. So now my keyword selection, I want to do green smoke reviews, and we'll do green smoke ratings. So in this instance, because we're trying to get the affiliate offers to sell, I might just be creative and do a mix of some keywords here, just because I'm not seeing anything else that's too related to reviews in there. And I know that on some of those other ones, I would put them on other silo pages that we created. So I'm just going to do green smoke product reviews or something like that. So now we got 3 keywords, and each one of these can be built for content in each part of your stacks. So now let's go back to that Blogger account so we can get this set up here. And the title, what should we use? Best green smoke e-cigs of 2015, and the address. Let's just do, I like to try and just use whatever the first one is. So green, let's just see if this is taken. Green Smoke Reviews 2015. So whenever possible, when I'm trying to set up the properties, I try and make it relevant to whatever you're doing. So at very worst, at least get green smoke of some type in there. I'm not real concerned about getting exact keywords or anything in there. I just want it to at least be relevant enough that it touches on some kind of main keyword. Green smoke e-cigs or something. Something like that. Let's just see if this is taken. So then we got to pick out what we want. Let's do, let's not make it too complicated here. Let's just pick dynamic views or something. Create blog. And we'll just see if this pops up here. And there we go. So now we can start creating a new post. Oops. So let's go in here. Let's go view it. And there's nothing here. That's okay. We still were able to get greensmoke2015.blogspot.com as the URL. And then we just put best green smoke e-cigs of 2015. So this is going to try and theme the rest of the content that we're going to put on here. So we're just going to jump back real quick, and it doesn't really matter if you want to use a page or a post. So just do new page. And I so happen to have some content handy here, because I'm sure you guys didn't want me to sit around and write stuff. So yeah, come out here.
I wanted to see you write some stuff. You were supposed to show us everything.
It's just so much fun to sit around and wait for me to come up with content, but fortunately for everyone, I'm not a content writer, so just come in here and paste it in. Blah. There it is. Okay. Now, the page title. So this is going to be our first page. So I'm not going to make this, and we'll go back and edit the links, but let's at least first get the 2 pages set up in the beginning. So back to keywords, green smoke reviews. So let's do or let's say a review. So there you go. So we're just going to publish it real quick. Not too concerned. Again, when we're putting up content on the initial DAS stacks, I really want to try and have legible, and unique content. I really don't like to put junk up on my DAS. As far as spinning, I don't put like a bunch of spun articles on there. I think this helps, if you ever go into a manual review of Google and they're looking at your links. I mean, the more time and care it looks like you put into some of these, I think some of those people have a heart. It's not going to be the top person at Google who's looking at your site. If you have one of the minions in there go and look at it and it looks like a decent article, something that took some time, you might want to take time and put pictures or some other engagement on here, because that's just all going to help with the power of this link, and also might also translate. And if this starts ranking, it's going to translate to visitors going back to your site and hopefully, buying your product or taking action on whatever you're trying to get them to do on your money site. So pause for a moment. Okay, so we got this post up now, and it's not published yet, so it's just set to draft mode. So we're just going to go ahead and put in the next page of content. So whenever you're building out your DAS stacks, I like to at least put 2 pages of content on ones that you can. There's going to be instances where it's only going to be a 1-page wonder, and that's okay. I'll take what I can get. But I've just found it really helps the indexing and push of your links. If you can put, personally, I like to do 3 to 5 pages of content, but at very worst, at least do 2 pages of content, because that's going to help give a little bit more extra oomph to your link, and it's going to save you a lot of time from having to force it to get indexed in many cases. And plus, for some of these properties, they come along, and Weebly, I know, for instance, if you have a new account on there and you just put up garbage and things like that, and then you start doing links out to other places, sometimes the admins on that site will come and shut that account down. So just do a good job with your content and try to make it treat it as if it was your money site and you're trying to get good quality stuff up on there. So we have to do our second page on the blogger.com, so we're just going to jump back to that. And I so happen to have another piece of content ready. So we're just going to go ahead and paste this in from my other article here. So we got that in there nicely. And we're just going to put in something else in here. The history of green smoke, not smoke, smoke. Yeah, let's just do e-cigs for fun. So now we got this one in here. So we're just going to hit publish. And we need to come back in here. We need to make this one publish. Okay, so now we got 2 pages here. So let's just go take a look at these. So in here you go. So we have our URL here, and we need to go and link to the other URL. So what do I mean by that? So whichever page you're actually going to use as your link out. So if this was going to the subel.me site, we want to go to the other page and link to this page with a green smoke term that we've already determined from finding the supporting keywords for the initial silos. So we're going to come up and we have to go get this other URL. Nope, that was the same URL. Sorry. Okay, so here's a history, and then we have a review. So let's take this and just edit this thing. And we just want to link over to the other one with our other keywords that we decided. So this is fine. You just want to use a related type thing, but this is kit, so we're just going to change it to something else. So we'll do green smoke products today. And just need to link to the other page. Oh, and that was way too long. Sorry, go get the other page here. So now we got a link that's pointing over contextually to this page. So we're going to make this page point over to the Sue Bell page. So just make sure we update that, and then we'll be done with that page. Now on this page, we need to go find the URL of where it's going on our destination, which in this case would be doing the reviews. So we're just going to grab this URL because we're going to go put that into the blogger since it's our destination. Let's just edit this one again. And, you know, hopefully with these articles that are already written, they weren't specifically written for that brand. So I typically like to write it for the keyword that's supposed to be. So if I was to have gone and ordered this correctly ahead of time, knowing what the keyword was, I would have had this article specifically written about green smoke reviews or green smoke products, things that are related to the review thing. So that content would be highly relevant to what you're targeting. So back at the farm, wherever that one went, we're just going to try and squeeze that keyword in here. And I'm just going to check out our latest green smoke product review for 2015! Exclamation. So this is going to be our anchor over to our money site. Okay, so where we're at on here, we're linking up to this. Now, when you're linking up, because hopefully this was written for green smoke reviews, and the URL is targeted for that, you're not going to want to hit this with an exact match anchor either. You want to make sure you're staying within balance on your on-site. So we want to vary up that anchor text. Paste it in, going to the money site. You can hit OK. Now, on this graph, of course, we're not quite done. We need to add another link that's going to go over to a Facebook page. Okay, I don't have a Facebook page created for this yet, but for the example, I'll just link over to facebook.com. You, of course, will have a Facebook page associated with your money site by then. So out of here, so where that link is going, sorry, just backtrack one sec. This link should be going to the green smoke URL directly. So because these are typically no follow or URL links that are coming off of these types of properties, I want to hit this with what I want this to move for. So you're going to do green smoke. Right, so that's the anchor that's going to go directly to there. So we just got to fit that into the blogger property. And where is a good place? Let's just throw it in here for fun. And we'll link it to and then this, of course, would be whatever your specific one, whatever your specific page would be that you built from the previous videos with Russ. And then you're just going to hit OK. So now we have one going to there, and we have one going to the money site. And then, of course, we also need to make sure that we're targeting our Twitter page. And so for the third link, just want to come in here, and so we're just going to put it on here. We put in a link, and we'll just put this as, this would go to the Twitter page that you've set up. Again, we don't have that property, so I'm just going to do twitter.com. Hit OK. So there you go. So now we got this all set up. So now you can just hit update.
Cool.
And I'm going to go and view this just to make sure it doesn't look too funky. And here you go. We got the first link out to the Facebook, and then we got one going directly to the money site. That's you can tell that this is a long tail one going into the money site, and then of course one to our Twitter page. And so this will be the first property that we created for our DAS stack. Well, it should be maybe the fourth or fifth if you did this one already. So we will jump into how to set up your Weebly next. Okay, we're on our Weebly now, and I'm going to create this account and log in. I didn't want to display all my other sites that I have within this Weebly account. So you just want to make sure once you log in and you've created your account, you just want to make sure you're going to hit sites, and you're just going to add a new site. I know some people get confused whether they should do a domain or a site. It is the site that you need to create. So I'm going to go ahead and log in real quick, and then we will set up our next property for the DAS. Okay, so again, went and created the first Weebly page, and we'll go to that in just a second. But remember, this one was going to target the green smoke starter kits because this is going to go to our starter kits page. So make sure that the URL is going to have the outbound link. So in this instance, we're going to have a home page, and then we're also going to have an inner page. So make sure that you're not mixing up which is going where. And hopefully when you ordered your content, as opposed to my example content, you have these pages written specifically targeting those keywords that you picked for your supporting keywords. So from here, we're going to roll back over to the Weebly page and have a home. And the home page can really be anything. I don't really try to keyword stuff on the home page too much. Doesn't usually do too much good in the way that we do our linking. So let's come back over to our sheet here. And what do we got here? Whoops. Starting to freak out on me here. Okay, so we're looking at this keyword right here. So we need to make sure that we're optimizing this page roughly for these types of keywords. So green smoke reviews it is. So I'm just going to leave the home page as it is, and we're just going to put up a little bit of content in here. So I went ahead and selected this short header. It was set to the tall header before, but really with the page layout algorithm, you kind of want to make sure that you're not getting too big of a header going on. So when I have my choice, I try to either do no header or short header on here. So those are the two I typically pick. You're certainly welcome to pick any that you want to make it look nice. But for me personally, those are the two I pick. So I just did save and edit. And in here, we got elements that we need to put into it. So of course you want to put in a title. And this one doesn't have to be really too specific. Where'd the title go? So let's see. We can just write about all about green smoke starter kits. And we will come into here. We need to throw in some text. So I'm going to go grab some text here. We're just going to put that in. And the other thing I like to put in here, if you scroll down here on the left, social icons is what you usually will throw into this page as well. And I typically just try to keep it right up in here. Let's see if there's anything else I typically put on here. You know, it's always good to throw YouTube videos in here. So if you find a relative YouTube video that you used, or maybe you have one already, go ahead and throw that up on there. It's always good to add an image as well. So you can pretty up these as much as you want, but for simplicity, we're just going to do straight content here. So then I'm going to make sure it looks okay. I'm just going to publish. And in this instance, I wasn't able to get something related to the green smoke that really made sense with the starter kit. So we just went ahead and did an e-cig starter kit for the Weebly. So, which still is pretty relevant for what we're trying to do. So we're just going to go back over. Close that up. So that ended up being on here. Your home page. We kind of mix that up a little bit. So we're just going to do the same thing. Click to edit. And let's go get our other piece of content. This just take me a little while to open up the Word doc here, so went ahead and grabbed that. Gonna toast that. I'm just going to put in regular text. And I'll put a title. Sometimes this Weebly can be a little bit tricky, and these things give me a hard time. Might be because of the arrow here. So we're just going to try and come into this.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got this up on here. I'm just going to hit publish. And now we can go back and look at this, and it should look a little better than what it did. So now we need to link over to our second page, because in this example, and I usually just do this all at once. You don't have to wait to put up a second page or anything like that. I just do it as I go. So we need to go in and edit this one, because this is going to link back over to the money site. So just going to close that up. And from here, we need to link over to this one. And we need to refer to our keywords that we're doing here. So we have some other ones here. So we could do, let's link over to it with green smoke starter kits. So I think that would fit quite nicely. wasn't the exact keyword, but this again is not going to that money site this time around. So
Right.
we're going to come in here and we're going to incorporate our link. And I just want to paste. Hopefully it's paste in. Okay. Hit save. Okay, so that made a link over to our second page, which you can see here. So we just linked to this one with Green Smoke e-cig kits, which you can see. Because this page is going to be linking up to our electronic cigarettes page, that's what we want to have.
Mm-hmm.
And you can see we have cigarette, brand, best, but we already have starter kit in this URL. The one thing I could have done was probably include Green Smoke in this URL somehow, but it's not necessarily so important each time around. So just try to make it relevant to what you're trying to rank for in some way, shape, or form when you're creating these pages.
In other words, they shouldn't overly worry about perfection.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I think where a lot of people get stuck is just not taking action.
Exactly.
You know, they're afraid that this isn't going to link over here quite right, or this isn't going to do this quite right. You don't have to worry about all that. You just first time through this, just go ahead and throw some stuff up.
Yeah.
Put your links to the pages they need to do, and I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, like don't get paralyzed. It's still going to pass juice.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
So now, what we need to do. So we were going to link to this page, so now we need to go back and edit this page so we can get the... Just go ahead and publish again, make sure I didn't lose any items there. So we're going to click over on this one. And we are linking out to Green Smoke starter kits for our main keyword. So again, we refer back to our list here. And for this first example, I guess in the last one we used the exact match. So in this one, let's just mix it up. So we'll just link to it with Green Smoke cartridges. And that way, it's still a highly relevant LSI. And again, we put these keywords as tags on this page and in the content. So you very well could, because of the LSI factor, and then including that in on your page, very well rank for this keyword off of this page by doing that. So we're just going to link up to it with this because LSI, highly relevant, but it's not going to be over-optimizing your main keyword of Green Smoke starter kits.
Okay.
So just going to grab that. And... let's see where we could put this. Okay, so here's our link, but we have to go find that page because again we are going to go to starter kits on this one. So we're just going to grab that. We're going to go back over to our Weebly. Where did it go? It's a little hard when you do this on...
That's why we... Never mind. Must be the same software we're building for this.
You got too many tabs open. So an open link, new window, and we're just going to hit save. So you can see we got our inbound link going there with those other supporting keywords that we decided were most relevant for the anchors. So in this one we didn't end up using our main keyword because we just want to switch it up so you can see the difference here. So we're just going to go with Green Smoke cartridges. That's what we just did.
Okay.
Now remember, whatever keyword you're going to use, that's typically what you want your content written about. I know my example wasn't perfect on this, but that's just what you need to be aware of.
Right.
And this isn't going to over-optimize anything because we have green smoke cartridges, which doesn't include that exact match. It's a partial keyword. So now we have one more thing. We could go to the Weebly page, the home page, and we could link up to the coupons. So we're just going to jump back over just for the sake of this demonstration. Oh, you know, the one thing we forgot before we go any further is we have to link back over to our blogger. And you would also have already set up the pure volume.
Right.
So we need to make sure that we're linking to the blogger before we go and do this part. So let's go find what we're looking for. And we need green smoke reviews. So we might just edit this thing.
Yeah.
Be sure to check out our 2015 reviews for the, what keyword did we use? We use green smoke product review.
Correct.
(2015). And we're just going to link over to it with the exact anchor. So we're just going to put that in there.
Okay.
And we could open up new tab and hit save. So now we just made that bridge over to Blogger.
Nice.
So anytime that you're linking from between your properties, you're going to link to this with the exact same keyword that you used. So whichever you decided this to be, and I don't remember what we chose for a product. Let's go back and look at the keywords real quick. So the problem when you're trying to do an example in a niche, you don't really do. So this was, sorry, that should have been green smoke reviews that we linked with. Because on Blogger, that was the first part of the keyword. That we used. So for instance, when you look at this, these were the three. So on the first cluster, we use that keyword. On the second cluster, we're going to use that keyword. And on the third cluster, we're going to use that keyword. And then that gives you your most highly relevant LSIs. Mm-hmm. So that's basically how it's done. Now, of course, I can log into here, and I would do on this home page again, and we would just do a link up to include, you know, best green smoke coupons probably is the anchor I'd use here.
Okay.
And that's about it for that. Now, when you come back around the second month, all I would do is log into this Weebly page, and you kind of watch and see how these perform, because by the time you build out the three clusters, and especially if you've already done the only wire, not the only wire, the Hootsuite, and then the one feed, you're going to end up seeing some kind of movement on your site by then.
For sure.
And so when I come back through and try to push this up even more, I just try to see which one I'm trying to push up here, and that's what I'm going to target my second Weebly page as. Mm-hmm. So, and it's all going to go to the green smoke. So let's say starter kits responded really well. So I would just do your Weebly page and write it about green smoke. Well, that would be a bad one because that's the one that we're targeting. Let's say we were targeting the blogger. So let's say reviews responded well. We'd write something about green smoke reviews, and you're going to pick other highly relevant LSIs to go down through this chain.
Are you saying if reviews started getting a nudge in the rankings, and is that what you mean by respond well?
Yeah, so they'll start seeing movement on this, especially once we talk about how to do tier 2. They'll start seeing movement on some of these keywords, and you'll see which ones start moving better than others.
Okay.
And if you need to improve one of them, I try to force this next set to target that specific keyword. And sometimes, if you're doing it for a client, they really are only concerned with the main keyword.
Okay.
So in that instance, I would go and do another drill, or if it's already one that you're working on for that main keyword, and you're going to go pick out 3 more highly relevant LSIs, and you're going to push those through kind of in a chain motion. And then, of course, whatever keyword you're going to, especially on citations and Twitter, you're going to use the exact match keyword. Okay. So you're just going to do just like that.
I see.
Again, if you ever pick this property again to link to it, you're not going to use the same exact keyword again. You're going to do something different. You might do green smoke e-cigs, but definitely the first time through, I just do the exact match of what I'm trying to get to push in the SERPs. So, and this would be an LSI term, and this would be an LSI term. And then you would edit this Weebly page to link over to your new Weebly page too. And it's the same kind of process that we just showed you with this first little stack that you see here. And now we're going to go into tier 2 or your PA boosting in the next video.
Okay, excellent. All right, that's really an excellent example. So we'll see everybody in the next video.